Good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Hope you're well. I'm doing just fine. Today, we're going to look at the week one college football, go through the updated lines as of now. There's games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a Monday game. So we will go through all that. And a little bit with Africa. They are all these nations joined in the defense of the U.S. trying to steal the gold of Africa. And so Africa, all these, Egypt and Saudi Arabia and all these countries have joined. So I don't know what the U.S. is doing. They get their heads way up their ass. Just a second. All right, so let's look at our gold. We always start there. Where else should we start? Gold 33.70. It's the 10 o'clock drop. It's just bullshit. The question is, what's going to happen? It's the end of the month. It's August 26th. We know it drops down as they mark to market. I'm not sure what that means, but I know generally now the end of the month it goes down because it's better if the gold price is cheaper. I assume for the options. I don't know. Silver 38.49. So again, it's all bullshit. Having the gold is the point. Real quick, so I had a. Let's see what the stock market's doing. I met a real estate agent taking a break on my walk. I walk on the lake, so I walk like 3/4 of a mile, then I walk back. But on the way back, I stop at this bench where just to rest because my back starts tightening up. So I just take a 5-10 minute break. And I was talking to a guy's like a real estate agent or something like that. And he so he doesn't understand obviously gold or silver or any of that stuff, right? I explained to him, well, I'd like to rent a condo. Too noisy here, too much conflict. I just assume move out. But I want a condo where I don't have the neighbors to worry about. You have an upstairs and a main floor and a basement, and there's nobody to bother you. So I says, but I'm not working right now. Is that a problem? I've never missed a payment, and I'm looking. I have obviously I'm making the payment here, so as long as you keep me close to the same price or $100 cheaper, then I don't see the problem. If I can make the payment here, I'm going to make the payment wherever I go, as long as it doesn't go up $1,000. But I explained I don't have money in the bank. It's all in precious metals or baseball cards. But if I need to sell one, that's fine. But the Social Security pays the rent. So, and he's all, I said, look, the main thing is, are they going to get paid? And I've been here 3 years. I've made the payment. And when I made the payment for 3 years before Ella fucking Bama. So, it's like people, oh, no, it needs this rate or that rate. And So I had to explain to him, well, the gold and silver is about to go up and it won't matter. And he says, well, why didn't you buy a house? I says, don't want to buy a house when the market's going to crash. The market crashes, I buy the house, then what I spend 500 grand on a house and watch it go down to 200 grand and then I lose. So if I'm just in an apartment or a condo, just paying rent, then I can't lose. I need a place to stay, and that's it. And I don't even know if I'm going to stay in Michigan because I don't know that I need to stay in Michigan. Once gold and silver goes up, I won't need a job. I'll just look for a nice place to live. So I want to go up to the lake where I was and just live up there because you get the lake and you get the golf course and it seems reasonable enough. So I don't know. But I don't have to be here. I've been here for the jobs at Mercedes and Ford and GM. They're all located here. And with my master's, I get a better job and get paid well to stay here. But now that's out the window. So I don't know. But, I was explaining, he says, well, if the market collapses and if the dollar collapses, the dollar's collapsing, the market's collapsing, gold's going up. It's not if, it's just, he says, but that'll be 5 to 10 years. I go, no, it's now. It's happening right now. You got to understand, it's 37 trillion in debt. It's the government. You have to pay all the government employees, which they can't. The dollar's been printed to death. Nobody wants it. Everybody's coming out with gold, as I showed yesterday, Africa and Brics. So who exactly is, what are you not seeing? That, like I said, the Titanic, there's a hole in the boat's sinking. Yeah, but this boat's never sunk before. It's the Titanic. It's unsinkable. And you're like laughing, going, believe me, it's sinking. You hit an iceberg. And that's what people have a hard time understanding is the dollar is collapsed. It's already collapsed. You have very little value in it. Hence, go to the grocery store and everything's much more expensive. So you have that issue, and that's the problem. So you're trying to you're trying to escape that with the gold and silver. So you don't want money in the bank and you don't want to buy a house. He says, well, real estate's a good investment. I go, no, it isn't. It might have been way back when, if you bought in the 70s or the 80s, but not now. It's already too expensive. Again, the market's here and the price of the real estate is here. So if you buy it up here, you're going to lose money on it. So it's not a good investment just because it's a good investment. It depends on where. It's the same thing as the Joe Montana rookie card. It's 110,000 as a PSA 10. Is it going to go to 200,000? Don't know, but I wouldn't pay 110 for it as an investment, hoping it goes to 200. That's where the problem is. It could go to 2, but probably 110. It's a very high figure for it, but it is the real figure. So when things are here, you want to invest, but when the price jumps here, that's not the time to invest in it. Now, gold's different. Gold, we don't know what the people were willing to pay for gold. We see the COMEX price, 33.70, I just said. So we see that, but the real price that people will pay is up here. It's an unusual situation because people just keep buying it because it's something you have to have, and it doesn't matter the price. You have to have it for protection above all. So that's really what you're looking at. And you're trying to, keep that in mind. So it's the unusual because normally, okay, everything's at market, right? The house, that's what the house is selling for, is what somebody's willing to buy it. Or a Rolex. Those are not overvalued, but the gold is a reverse bubble. It's not anywhere near its real price or silver. Hey, Real D, how are you today? So I'm just explaining a little thing. So again, the realtor didn't understand. We'll get to football in a second. Again, the realtor did not understand. He just oh, that can't happen and this and that. No, no, no. I just started. I'm just talking about a story at the lake, and then I'll get it. I'll 5 minutes or so. Um, and so he's well, it might happen, and and again, the bubble is in the real estate and the stock market and Bitcoin. Those are the bubble areas where you shouldn't buy now because they're too high. They're not at market. Most things are at market, but gold and silver are price fixed away from the market, so they're not. Okay. For real D, let's go to college football. Now we got the Thursday's games, the 28th. So let's go to the lines and we'll get into some explanations. So again, your free pick is Ohio State, Texas under. I've already won on Iowa State last week. And then we got Ohio State, Texas, obviously under. And then we're fishing for more picks that make sense. We're looking for live dogs. We're looking to bet against Z teams. Anything that makes sense, totals, everything. I saw one guy say, well, we do totals and sides. Well, what else is there? Jesus. All right, so let's start with Thursday. We got about 7 games or 8 games just on Thursday. It's crazy. Boise, 6.5, 63.5 against South Florida. That number really hasn't moved. Boise, returning quarterback who was pretty good, returning coach. South Florida, the same. Their quarterback was okay, nothing special, and more of a running quarterback. Boise has to replace Gentry, so we got to see how they look. I don't think you're going to get a running back as good as Gentry, but that's what they'll do. The game's in South Florida. So Boise, again, now I have to use last year's numbers because I don't have this year's. There isn't any. So Boise was an A team, but they had Gentry with the 22 defense. And South Florida was an over team with the 29 defense. So South Florida scores a lot. They got a pretty clever offense, but their defense sucks. So we're not sure if they, and this is the problem. You don't know if all of a sudden they made their defense better or not, and then you because the quarterback's back, you assume they'll be a scoring team. But we'll have to watch. Ohio at Rutgers. Ohio 15. Rutgers 15.5, 49.5. This is up from 14.5, and up from 47. Ohio's a B team with a 17 defense. Again, this is last year, a returning quarterback and a returning coach. Rutgers is an E team with a 24 defense, returning quarterback and returning coach. Quarterback wasn't bad. The coach we know is a defensive-minded coach. Ohio was very good in the MAC. And again, they had a 17 defense, and with the same coach, you expect a 17 defense again. Rutgers should be better. Shiano's a good coach. The quarterback's back. He was decent, not terrible. So it's hard to say in this game because Rutgers, how good's Ohio's offense? But then Ohio does have an excellent defense. So will they stop Rutgers? So we will see. Jacksonville State, UCF 18.5, 52.5. This is up from 16 to 18.5. The Sharps obviously betting UCF. I don't know why. And 52.5 down from 53.5. So Jacksonville State was a B team with the 26 defense with Rich Rodriguez, who is not there anymore. He went back to West Virginia. So they got a new coach. They also have a new quarterback. Then you have UCF, 27 defense, also with a new coach and a new quarterback. Well, obviously, they had to replace Rich Rodriguez. So is UCF, they got Scott Frost from Nebraska, who doesn't know Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. Boy, that guy's an idiot. So this is what we have. We don't really know. We don't know. This is the mystery, Jack. This is the mystery of the new coaches. Jacksonville State We have no idea what we're getting, offense or defense. And UCF with Scott Frost, we have an idea of him at UCF. We also have an idea at him at Nebraska with Adrian Martinez, who sucked. And then we have an idea of him at UCF with Mackenzie Milton. They were a great team. It looks like it was Mackenzie Milton that made him a great team, not the coach. So we'll keep in mind with that. I don't, this is, let's see what they look like. Wyoming and Akron. Both teams are W teams. The spread 749.5. Both are W teams. Wyoming with the 28 defense, Akron at 32. Akron's just terrible. New quarterback at Wyoming, same coach, same quarterback and coach at Akron. Like that means something. Akron's terrible, but the game is there. Wyoming 7. Do you want to lay 1? I don't know. We got a new quarterback. And I don't think, superstar is going to Wyoming. And I was shocked. Josh Allen, I don't know what he was doing there, but he didn't look that great in Wyoming. I never thought, he'd be like this good in the pros, the way he looked at Wyoming. It's at Akron. It's a 7:00 game. This shouldn't be a weather issue. East Carolina, NC State. We've got NC State 14, 61.5. This was up from 11. So a lot of the sharps going with NC State, which cracks me up. And 61.5 up from 60. East Carolina wasn't over last year, 28 defense. North Carolina State's an over with the 30 defense. North Carolina State's defensive coordinator is at some MAC school or something. So they got a new defensive coordinator. You've got same quarterback and same coach for East Car and the same for NC State. They weren't very good last year. They were both over teams, so they needed help on defense. So the defensive coordinator probably got fired for his 30 defense. So who knows who's coming. East Car is in North Carolina. So this is not a rivalry, but it's North Carolina. 14. I'm not running to bet at 11 and knock it up to 14. I don't see that. Maybe you play it over, as both teams had over. Were over last year, and they got the same coach and quarterback, and they both have 29 defenses. I don't know. I'm going to watch and learn. There's a lot of watch and learns the week 1. Let's see. Buffalo and Minnesota. We're still on Thursday. Minnesota 17.5, 44.5, up from 16.5. And still 44.5, 45 is what I had. Buffalo is an over team. They got a new quarterback, a backup from Kansas State, and the same coach, who's a good coach. Minnesota has a new quarterback who's a freshman and the same coach. So I'm leery with the freshmen. They're going to play good defense and probably run the ball. So I'm nervous with the freshmen and lay 17 points. Buffalo is not a bad MAC team. That's a lot of points to give to a MAC team with Minnesota, who doesn't really have a strong offense. And you're going to bring in a freshman. I don't know that he's all that. Definitely a lot of watch and learn this week. Well, this is what it's become. It's the portal. So you got look at Marshall, 47 players left. Well, they had to bring in 47 players. And you need consistency in football. The offensive line has to play together. It's not like you can bring in a guard like Chicago. They're bringing in a guard from Kansas City and like, how is that going to help you? I mean, he's got to get the consistency, and he should have been playing in the preseason with all the starting offensive line should have played the whole preseason for the Bears to get the consistency down. It doesn't work in practice because even when they play these stupid practices against these other teams, they're not really going all out. And I don't know if they're even in pads, but it's not like a game where you're really hustling in a game. and you're trying to kill the other guy. This is practice. Oh, don't get anybody hurt. They're so worried about getting people hurt, and you can throw up with it. This is football. So this is the problem. So you got all these, Marshall with 47 players gone, have 47 new ones coming in. How are they going to play? You have no idea. They could be great, but they probably are going to suck. And a new coach, where Indiana did it last year. They brought in a lot of the who was their James Madison coach. They brought a lot of James Madison players in. They stole the quarterback from Ohio, and he was very, I don't know how good he is. He did get drafted by the Niners, and he made them better. He had a very good offense, very good scheme, and a very good defense. So they played Ohio State tough. They lost because of the punter fumbled a snap and a punt return, or they beat Ohio State. So they're not really that bad. So we will see. So that's, again, Buffalo, Minnesota. Minnesota, good defense, probably be conservative, and Buffalo with a good, a bad defense and a good offense. So we don't know what we'll see. We don't know how strong Buffalo can go into the Big Ten at Minnesota, how good they'll play, but it wouldn't surprise me if the game is closer than 17 and a half because Minnesota's got a freshman quarterback. He's not going to put up 40 points on them. What are your thoughts on Arch Manning this year? How could he have successful college football season? I don't really know because he hasn't done anything. He's been there 2 years. You couldn't beat out Ewers, so I'm not quite sure how good he is. I see he likes to run. I don't know where he's getting that from. Oh, I got to be a mobile quarterback. That's bullshit. I don't know. We'll see against Ohio State. Will tell us everything we need to know. That's really what you want to judge these guys. And you want to judge the Ohio State quarterback against the Texas defense. Hence why we're going under in that game. Because neither quarterback's going to do anything, and the defenses will dominate, and they'll probably be conservative play calling, realizing they both have great defenses and they both have fresh, new quarterbacks. I don't think he's all that. I don't think he's the Heisman Trophy winner. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think there's easily 10 better quarterbacks. The kid at Virginia is better, who came from North Texas. Okay. You've got, Penn State quarterback. You've got Utah, Dampier. You've got LSU and Clemson's quarterbacks. I think they're all better than Arch Manning. Now, will Arch Manning grow and be better? Well, we don't know. We got to see what he looks like against Ohio State. I don't have any faith if he couldn't beat out Quentin Ewers, and Quentin Ewers sucked last year. And if you couldn't beat him out, and he didn't play in the playoff, or he'd come in and run the ball, and that was it. I don't know. Just because his name is Manning doesn't mean anything. Ted Williams' son couldn't play baseball. Bobby Bonds' son could, Barry Bonds. So it just really, we'll see. I don't know. Nothing I've seen has impressed me yet. He's been there 2 years and he's done nothing. So normally if, Peyton Manning started as a freshman. So it's just, if he was all that, he'd have started already. So I don't know. And to start against Ohio State, I don't think you'll see much. I'm not betting that he's the Heisman winner or Texas is not the number one team. What kind of crap is that? That's so they can show the TV and say 1 versus 2, Texas versus Ohio State. Watch, when Texas might be the 15th best team, but they're not going to say it. They're going to sell it. That's the problem with sports now, at least with college football. They rank it. Well, you hear it with Scott Simmons, the golfer, Scotty Scheffler. Oh, he's a number 1 ranked golfer. Doesn't look like it. So this is really the problem. The rankings are really just for TV, just to sell TV. 1 versus 2. And then you'll look next week, the big game, and that'll be 1 versus 2. So it's 1 versus 2 keeps flipping to whoever's the big game. I don't understand why it's on at noon. I think that's should be a night game. They're mowing my lawn, so I don't smell what he's cooking, real D. Nebraska, Cincinnati. Nebraska 6.5, 53.5. Up from 52. Let me adjust that. Nebraska, an under team with the 20 defense. Rayola's back and the coach is back. Matt, whatever his name is. And Cincinnati was an E team last year with the 25 defense. Quarterback Sorsby's back with and the coach is back. So, you know, will Rayola get better? Right, the defense will be there because Matt Rule, that's what he does. Nebraska's got a strong defense, so they'll be a defensive team. And Rayola was pretty bad, so maybe he gets a little better. Cincinnati, I don't know. They're an E team. The quarterback was okay. He was like 18-9. I mean, only 18 touchdown passes. And that's what you saw a lot of last year. All these quarterbacks I'm looking at that are there from last year to this, they're all like 15 to 25 touchdown passes. The only guy, the North Texas guy, at 35. Cam Ward had in the 30s also, but that was a gimmicky offense. I don't think Cam Ward's nothing in the pros. We will see. Miami of Ohio, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, 17.5, 39.5. All right, it's about the same. Miami of Ohio, an under team with an 18 defense. I believe they won the MAC. Wisconsin, an under team with the 23. They both have new quarterbacks, and the coaches are the same. So Wisconsin has changed from Ron Dane running the ball 35 times and getting 100 yards and playing the really killer defense to I don't know what these guys are. They're now an under team, but even their defense is 23, not 15. For example, Ohio State's got a 10 defense and Texas a 13. So you'd think Wisconsin would be down there. No, Wisconsin's 23. Miami of Ohio and 18, they're a very good MAC team, but they got to go to Wisconsin. This is where you got to be careful, where you might be tempted. Maybe I'll play the game under. Maybe I'll take the 23 points in Miami of Ohio. You got to be careful. Because anytime you step up in class, like we'd have like Western Kentucky play Alabama, we go, oh, they'll score 21 points. No, they never did because they would just blitz. Nick Saban would blitz these offensive teams like a Western Kentucky or any of these Appalachian states. You know, he would blitz them, and they couldn't deal with it because there was too much speed and power in Alabama, so they couldn't get their offense going. I don't know if that's what's going to happen with Wisconsin, but that's the problem going up in class. Okay, that's Thursday. So we got like 8-9 games on Thursday. Anything really stick out? Not really. Hard to say. I mean, it's really a lot of unknowns. Miami, Ohio, Wisconsin, Buffalo, Minnesota, the freshman quarterback. San Jose State Central. I like San Jose's coach because he coached at Navy, Tuiamula or whatever, and he was very good. He was a good coach. So now he's at San Jose State. So look for them to get better. They're always a pretty good program, San Jose State. Central's going with a new coach, a 30 defense, and a returning quarterback who wasn't all that. Going to the West Coast is going to hurt them, especially on a Thursday night. You're laying 12.5 and 51. So again, do we know if it's an over or an under team? Central's going to give up. They give up 30 points, but they don't score. Central was a W team. San Jose State was an E team, so they scored 24-25, and they give up 26. So it's can I go over with Central without really a brand new coach and a regular quarterback? But this is the first time the guy's ever coached. So do we Do we bet against them as a W? Do we go over because they have no defense? San Jose State, 26 defense, but can Central take advantage of that? So this is the problem right away. So that was a thought, but again, I got to be careful with it. UCF, a mile away from them. Boise, South Florida should be a decent game. Uh, uh, Nebraska, Cincinnati. Okay, at least we kind of know those teams. We know the same quarterback and coach, and that's it. So nothing really solid on Thursday. I think I can find a play in there, but nothing. There's no lock in Thursday. All right, so let's go to Friday. You get this telegram, you get these bullshit. All right. So let's go to Friday. Friday. We got Army playing Tarleton State. Go Army. All right. App State and Charlotte. Let's see. Oh yeah. App State 6.5, 50.5. So this has gone down from 53 to 50.5. 7.5's gone down to 6.5. App State, a new coach who's never coached before and a new quarterback. And Charlotte, a new coach. Charlotte's a new coach and a new quarterback. I think Daria likes to bother me now because she knows I'm here. Just a second. Daria, timeout. Food's getting expensive in Russia. I sent her little food check. She said, that's only good for a week. I need more. All right, so let's get back to this. So App State, Charlotte. We got App State 6.5, 33. They're an over team. Charlotte was a Z team last year with the 35 defense. A Z team means they probably scored 15 points, gave up 35. And this way we know by looking at the Z team that we know exactly what they are. We don't have to research it. We just know probably a weak quarterback. And now they got a new quarterback this year and a new coach. All right. So, I apologize for that. So Charlotte's a Z team. They got a new quarterback. Is he better or worse? Who knows? We've got a new coach. Couldn't be worse. So Charlotte's a Z team, fires the coach, brings in a new one. App State has a new quarterback. Joey Aguilar's on Tennessee. And then they get a new coach, and this is the first time coaching. I think this might be the defensive coordinator from NC State. It really doesn't matter. You've got a bunch of, uh, garbage here. I mean, there's no way you can analyze this game. Will App State be App State from the last few years? Well, they got a different coach. Look at Indiana. You switch coaches, you get a whole different flavor. So this is a game we watch. We look at the quarterback stats. How bad's the defense? Are they going to give up there? Now, I don't think App State's going to give up 33 points to Charlotte. Doesn't mean their defense is better. So you might need another week or two with App State's defense, but we'll get a good view of the quarterback. Western Michigan goes to Michigan State. Michigan State 20 and a half. So this went from 18 to 19. Now it's 20 and a half. And the total is still 49. That hasn't moved. Western Michigan's an over team, 31 defense, a new quarterback, same coach. Michigan State was a W, a 26 defense. The quarterback is back from Oregon State, and the coach from Oregon State's now in his second year or third year. I don't remember if this is second or third year, but Michigan State, I don't know. Childs, I don't know. He was a freshman at Oregon State, so I don't really know what to think of it. Western Michigan was an over team, but Childs can't really take advantage of how weak Western was. And then you have Michigan State with a lousy defense. Are they going to shut down Western, who can throw? So I don't know if I could lay 20 with Michigan State here. I mean, you almost want to take Western and the points. I don't even know if you can go over with this guy. Real D. Can't wait for this season, Professor. I know we're going to win lots of money this season. Yeah, well, I'm expecting a big season, and especially in the pros. Everybody's in dreamland, and they don't know. See, what separates us from everybody or me is reading the quarterbacks. Like I'm telling you, Kim Ward's no good, but everybody is saying how great he is because he was the number one pick, which doesn't mean anything. Tennessee needed a quarterback because they're sucked, and there was only one quarterback to draft, Cam Ward, and that was it. Cam Rising got hurt, he would have been number one. And so that's the problem, right? So you then have an issue of we understand what's going on. It's like gold. We understand that gold is price fixed and it's really not that price and the dollar is worthless. But most people don't. Most people don't understand the dollar's worthless and don't understand gold's undervalued. They'd rather buy real estate. They'd rather buy Bitcoin, right? They don't get it, right? They miss the boat. But in football, we don't miss the boats. So again, Michigan State, we'll have to see. Now, Childs has been with them now for 2 years, 1 year at Oregon State and 1 year here. And we will see what he does if he gets better. Now, Western, weak defense, but a good offense. So Western should score on Michigan State. This game, now it's 20 and a half. I have no idea why. This is probably a doggy play if you can trust Western against Michigan State. And this is normally a game Michigan State does not blow out the Westerns and the Easterns and the Central Michigans. Excuse me. Hey, Derek. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I'm in the middle of class, and then I got to take my car in for an oil change at 1:20. It's kind of a busy day.
When?
Huh?
When?
1:20. So I'm doing class.
Why?
Huh?
You have a appointment time for an oil change?
Yeah, I go to Toyota. It's free, and then they do the maintenance and inspection, and I don't pay for the oil change.
I think you can take me today.
No, I'm in the middle of class. We started at 10. But I
Call me
called
after.
you. I tried to get a hold of you, but yeah.
All right, call me after.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Bye
All
bye.
right, bye.
Alyssa, she's like, sometimes she's there and sometimes she's not. All right. So sorry for that, but life calls. Multitasking. So again, we don't know Michigan State. The kid gets better, and we just, all we can do is, I think Western in 26 can hang in there because they have a good offense, but you worry about their defense. But I don't think State's offense. It's not like they're playing Penn State. I'd be scared with Penn State's offense to take them. But Michigan State, they're not really. They're a W team. They don't score. Okay, the quarterback's back, but how good is Giles? He's a good runner, but he sucks as a passer. All right, Tennessee State, Wake Forest. We got Wake Forest. We have Wake Forest 17, 51.5, Tennessee State. Tennessee State's a Z team with a 31 defense, a new quarterback, and a coach his first year. And Wake Forest is an over team with the 32 defense and a new quarterback and a new coach. So who's running the Wake Forest? They're laying 17. All I have is normally this would be a Wake Forest because Kennesaw State's a Z team and they're an over team. That's the perfect scenario, but you can't. With a new coach and quarterback, you don't know who you got. So again, now we watch and then we learn. It's like that movie with Sean Connery and that girl from Ocean's 12, and they're thieves. It's entrapment, I think. And so they're practicing to rob the crown, the mask or something from England. And he goes, first we try, and then we learn, and then we do, or something like that. All right, Auburn Baylor, good game. Auburn 2.5, 57.5. That line has moved from Auburn 1 to Baylor 1 to Auburn 2.5. Auburn, a B team, 21 defense. We got Baylor, an over team with the 25. I love Baylor's quarterback. Robertson had a huge year last year. The coach is back. Baylor knows how to fucking score. Auburn, new quarterback, and Hugh Freeze, who led them in that game against Miami or against Florida State in the title game. So he's run around and now he's back because they can't find a good coach. You got a new quarterback. The Hugh Freeze system, he likes to run the ball a lot. He's usually a pretty good over team. Baylor will score. I don't care. It's at Baylor. They'll be emotional opening up. So definitely think Baylor. This will be good. We'll definitely keep an eye on Baylor in this game. Let's see. Let's see who else. Okay. So, yeah, that's one that you like. You've got the quarterback and the coach who are explosive, who were last year, so no change. And then you have Auburn. They're going on the road to Baylor. Is not a piece of cake. This is Big 12 SEC, so this is equal. This is not like they're playing a Sun Belt team. I'm a little curious why Auburn's actually favored in this game. I think Baylor. I have Baylor -4 was my first intuition a month ago when I put the games down and put my spreads in. So yeah, I mean Auburn. We'll see. Let's see. Let's just take a quick look. Who's their quarterback? Auburn. See if he's any good. Their new quarterback. Oh, okay. Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma. Okay. So you have a good running quarterback, which is perfect for Hugh Freeze. So there'll be points in this game. Definitely points in this game. Arnold can run, which is what Freeze likes. He reminds me of the quarterback they had when they went to when they lost to Florida State. They had that good running quarterback. They beat Alabama on that. And then the safety came up and he just tossed it over the safety's head for the tying touchdown. And then they went on the kick, I think. But he likes the running quarterback. So it's a nice fit there, Arnold. So he's new to Auburn, but he's from Oklahoma. He was like 9-2 last year. Wasn't too bad. So yeah, this is 57.5. This is points here. Absolutely. Tech, Colorado, Georgia Tech, Colorado. Georgia Tech is laying 4.5 now. The number was 3, went up to 4. It's now 4.5, and 52.5 is your total. Georgia Tech was an E team last year, scored 25, gave up 25. Prime Senior was an A team with the 22 defense. Now you've lost the Heisman Trophy winner. You've lost Prime Junior. How can he coach without his son there? Oh my God. And he had his son for 2 or 3. He had him at Jacksonville State, and then he had him here. So he was there 3 years. He knew the offense. This new guy is more of they got him from Liberty, and he's more of a running type of quarterback. So look for Colorado to have more of an option game, I guess. But that's not what Prime coaches. He wants to coach passing. Georgia Tech, 25 defense, Colorado 22. Haynes King is back, and the good coach for Georgia Tech. Obviously, Prime's back, and then we get the new quarterback from Liberty. So again, he's a transfer. He's not like never coached before. So we'll have to see what we do. I would love Georgia Tech as the dog in this game. I would lock it. That's how a lock happens. You get the right team as the dog, you get the right spread, and you have it. Now we look at, well, maybe we should go total 52.5. Neither team with a great thing, but the problem is Colorado's quarterback, you don't know what to do with. Georgia Tech, I'm sure their defense got better because this is a really good coach. And Kings, he runs the ball pretty good. He throws it. He doesn't turn it over. And so he's an excellent quarterback. He'll win the game for you. So I like Georgia Tech to win, but I'm a little afraid at Colorado and what to do with it. So it's hard to bet against Georgia Tech, especially against Colorado with this brand new quarterback. And I'm not sure how good Prime Senior is as a coach. Good cornerback, but you're having him coach here. I know I'm kind of freezing up a little, but nothing I can do. I don't control the internet. So that's what we have. We have we basically, I think Georgia Tech wins a tight one. At Colorado, I think with the new quarterback, I don't see Georgia Tech winning by 20. I wish I did, but I think they win. I maybe by 10. It'll be a tight one, but I don't think you discount Colorado yet. But it is a new quarterback who's got to get used to the system, and a system that's made for a passer. So this is not a good fit. Where Arnold was a good fit at Auburn, this is a terrible fit. How is Prime going to coach a guy who likes to run? All right. UNLV and Sam Houston. We have UNLV 10.5, 61.5. This line really dropped from 13.5 and went from 58 to 61. Now, what the fuck's going on here? This is a very strange one. UNLV, new quarterback, and a new coach in Mullen. Sam Houston, an under-team quarterback stinks. Okay, I know I'm losing a little bit. Okay, I'm back. All right, I think I'll be okay. I've been checking when that happens quickly, and I'm still on. Sometimes if it's a long one, I get disconnected, but I think I'm on. So UNLV, again, so if you're going by last week, you see 35-31 to Idaho State, and you go, oh, their defense sucks, which they probably do, but Sam Houston won't take advantage of the defense. Sam Houston's under team. Okay, they gave up 41 to Western Kentucky, but like I said, Sam Houston, Vegas isn't the same quarterback type of thing. So I'm going to ignore the 61.5. I also ignore the 10.5. I think Vegas could light up Sam Houston pretty good here. Central and San Jose State. This moved to Friday. Okay. Oh, no, I got it the 29th. Okay. San Jose State, 11.5, down from 12.5, and 51, which is where it was. So a little CMU action. I think we've already talked about this game. CMU, a Western, a W team with a rookie quarterback, returning quarterback, the new coach, San Jose State, with the Navy coach, 26 defense. So we talked about it. Basically, probably like San Jose State, a little at home. They got to travel central from Michigan to California. Maybe they catch a open A game in Sacramento. So I don't know. I think San Jose State scores on the weak defense, but I don't know what Central's quarterback's going to do. All right. Old Mississippi. Okay, that's Friday. And now we're finally getting to Saturday. And let's just check. Yeah, it looks like, are we still on? Let's make sure we're still on, so I'm not talking to myself. Am I still on? Am I still on? Okay, we'll buy it. Okay, yeah, yes, we're still on. Okay, thank you, Real D. Because I can't tell. I see myself talking. I don't know I'm disconnected. Okay. So, Mississippi. So here comes Saturday noon. Mississippi State, Southern Miss. This is a very intriguing game. Mississippi State, 13.5, up from 11.5. This went from 12 to 11.5, and now it's minus 13.5 with the total of 61. I get the total going up. I don't get the people betting on Old Mississippi State. Old Mississippi State was an over team with a 34 defense. Quarterback's back, coach is back. Southern Miss is now Marshall. They got the Marshall quarterback who was 19-2 last year. They got the coach who's very good. I assume most of the 47 players came here. So they're a B team. So I call them a B team with the 23 defense because that's what Marshall was last year. But I don't know if they're all there yet. Are they all Marshall players or what did they do? So good quarterback play. And so the new coach, but he was the Marshall coach. So it's not like he's never coached before. He's good. So we basically have returning. It's just they went from Marshall. This is a trade, Marshall to Southern Miss. Normally, I hate to fuck with the SEC against the Sun Belt, but in this case, I can see. I'd be surprised. You know what? Let's look at Marshall last year. I know they got crushed by Ohio State. Old Mississippi State was terrible last year. The only game they won was UMass 45-20 in Eastern Kentucky. They got killed by Toledo, and that's it, who was a lower tiered team. Blake Shapen is their quarterback from Baylor. I looked 2 years ago, and he was like 14-8 as a quarterback at Baylor. He wasn't bad, but he got beat out. Okay, let's go here. We want to go to Marshall. I'm not sure they're Sun Belt or not. Here they are. Okay, so what we're looking at is how did this guy play better teams? So last year, they lost to Virginia Tech 31-14, Ohio State 49-14. They beat Western, they beat App State, lost at 1 point to Georgia Southern, beat Georgia State, Lou Monroe, Southern Miss, Coast Carolina Old D, James Madison, and Lafayette. So the question is, the Virginia Tech game, they lost 31-14. You really can't look at the Ohio State game because they were a much better team, and they lost 49-14. They lost by 35 there. But the Virginia Tech game is what you're looking at. And so they lost by 17 at Virginia Tech gives you a little bit of, okay, maybe they lose by 20 to Old Mississippi State. Maybe 61.5 total. That was a 49. That was a 45 to Virginia Tech, who doesn't have the Mississippi State offense. So we'll look for that. 37, well, it won't be a 37 defense. So again, Marshall had a fairly good defense. Will they have a good defense week one? I don't know. Mississippi State at 34, returning quarterback and coach. Hard to say. So I'm looking. I don't know. Old Mississippi State was an over team with Blake Shapen. They will score on Marshall. We'll call them Southern Miss. The question is, Southern Miss, good coach, could score something on Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Mississippi State had a 34 defense. I don't know that he's gonna all of a sudden turn it into a 20. And I don't know that, they did beat some good teams, Marshall. Let's see. James Madison, 35-33. Lou Lafayette, 31-3. That's impressive because Lou Lafayette's always very good there. App State with Joey Aguilar, 52. So they put up 30s everywhere except for Ohio State and Virginia Tech, 14. But as it got going, they got better. I think you could see them score on Old Mississippi State. It's not like Alabama or Ohio State where they're not going to get anything. But they did play Ohio State last year. That should help them in this game. So I think Old Mississippi State can put up points here. I don't know that they'll stop anything, but they'll put up points. And again, it's not really – I don't know what it was a 37 last year. So it's somewhere between, let's call it a 30. It's somewhere between 23 Marshall and 37, and how quickly he can get the defense playing. But it'll be a very good team by the end because it's the Marshall team. Syracuse, Tennessee 14 and 50.5. It was 54. Now it's 50. Syracuse, an over team last year with the 29 defense. They got a new quarterback, the Ohio State quarterback. I don't know if he got drafted or what. And then the coach is back. And Tennessee's got Joey Aguilar, who's outstanding. And Josh Heupel's back, and that's explosive. So is Tennessee's defense going to be as strong? That is the question. They had a 14 defense. At Tennessee, they're going to play well, although it's at noon. We'd prefer it a night game where they can really go rowdy. Again, they're laying 14. Syracuse, though, doesn't have – it's a new quarterback, and they still had a 29 defense anyway. So I don't think their defense gets much better. So Tennessee at home, yeah, maybe a W. Ball State, Purdue 17.5, 50.5. Where is Penn State? I mean, it's almost like it's 17.5. This is Purdue. What happened to Penn State? I'm sorry, it's Purdue, 17.5 and 50.5. That really hasn't moved. Now, Ball State was an over team with a 40 defense. You got a new coach, new quarterback. You got Purdue was a Z team with the 40 defense, and they gave up 100 points to Notre Dame. New coach, new quarterback. Now, I think it's the Vegas coach came to Purdue. I don't know what to expect. You got a new quarterback. Maybe he's good. Maybe he's from Vegas. Ball State was an over team. Both defenses sucked. Is the guy from Vegas going to come in and all of a sudden Purdue's going to have a good defense? I doubt it. That's not something you just come in and bring guys. You have to have a scheme. But the Purdue coach obviously sucked last year. So we don't know. This is a watch, Purdue. Let's see what happens. Texas, Ohio State, 2.5, 47.5. This was 2.5, went to 1.5, and now it's back to 2.5. and 48. That's your free play. Go under 48 to 54. Both new quarterbacks, both returning coaches, both were A teams. 13 defense Texas, 10 defense Ohio State. Now, that's what threw you in the playoffs. It was high scoring with Oregon. It was high scoring with Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I bet it under because you had this 10 defense against Notre Dame, and it was like a 60-point game, and you're like, what the fuck? So you can get fooled by that. Now, that was different as far as who they were playing and what their defense was. You're not doing that here. You don't have that that defense. You don't have the quarterback, and you don't have Chip Kelly. So your offense, Ohio State, I don't see putting up a lot. In Texas, you're now with Arch Manning, so I don't see them putting up a lot. And I think they played in one of the playoff games, and it was pretty low scoring. So we're going under. That's your free pick. Go under Texas, Ohio State. Two good. I don't know if they're A teams or under teams this year. Two great defenses. And that's something that usually can carry a year because they always have the backups. And you're not leaving Ohio State to go to Northwestern or anything like that. Florida Atlantic and Maryland. Maryland 14.5. Up from 14 and 59.5. Now, again, this is Yahoo. If you're on FanDuel or other sites, they're pretty close. You can find a point one way or the other. I think I was on this site. Scores and odds. Let's see. I think there's a way. Well, there was one site that gave you all the sports books. Surprised it's not scores and odds, but anyway, so there's another one. I'll find it. And it just lists the cross, FanDuel, Bet365, bet all these. And so if you're hunting, you can see, oh, instead of laying 4.5, I can lay 3.5. So maybe Georgia Tech's 3.5 on one site, then the 4.5 or 2.5. You know, maybe a 9 is a 7.5, so you can go under 3. So shop. So Maryland 14.5 and 59. So we've got Florida Atlantic, an over team, a new quarterback, Veltkamp, and a new coach his first time. Veltkamp was nothing special. Maryland, a W team with a 30 defense. Florida Atlantic had a 30 defense, a new quarterback at Maryland, and a returning coach. Maryland's normally a high-scoring team. But last year, they gave up 30 and didn't score. They were a W, so I don't know, going over. But Florida Atlantic, they should score on Maryland, and then it should be a scoring frenzy. So I would think there'd be scoring in this game. Northwestern Tulane, we've got an interesting one here. Tulane's quarterback's gone. Northwestern's got Stone from SMU, who was pretty good, but I probably got hurt. Tulane 5.5, 46.5. This is down from 7 and 46.5. That's same. Northwestern was a W team with a 26 defense, New quarterback Stone and returning coach who's not that good. Tulane's an A team with a 20 defense and a new quarterback who's I wrote in average and a returning coach from Troy. Tulane's been very good for years, winning that conference. So a normal Tulane team will beat Northwestern, but I don't know Northwestern with Stone. I don't think there'll be a W team. W team means they just couldn't score. So, you can't really go over here. That's why it's a 46. But we don't know Tulane. Got an average quarterback, probably a good defense. Could be a defensive struggle, but I really don't know what Stone's going to look like and basically what these teams are going to look like yet. Toledo and Kentucky. Kentucky, 8.5, 48.5. That's what it's been at. Toledo was an over team with the 21 B team with the 21 defense. Quarterback's back, coach is back, very good in the MAC. Kentucky, under team, 22 defense, new quarterback from Georgia, I never heard of, and the coach is back. Kentucky normally plays defense and run. Toledo, B team, pretty good quarterback and pretty good defense. This is where you could have your upset. This, I would think, would be a close game. I would think as weak as Kentucky is offensively, but as strong as they are defensively, I think you're looking at possibly an under, possibly a dog. The only thing I wouldn't do is take Kentucky in the game. Toledo is a very good MAC team, and Kentucky's not that Alabama and Georgia where, oh, shit, they're going to lose by 40. Okay. Old D and Indy. Indy 23.5. And 54.5. Old D is a B team or an over team. No, Old D's got to be an over team. 28 defense, returning coach and quarterback. Indy was an A team with a 14 defense. New quarterback Mendoza from Cal, who's played, and a returning coach who's very good from James Madison. Hi, Taiwan. Tulane is the BYU. Oh, the quarterback went to because he got kicked off the BYU team for having premarital sex. At BYU, you cannot have premarital sex. It's one of the conditions. My friend went to BYU. So let me see. Tulane's got now that quarterback's very good if he's starting. So when I read Gray Sports Almanac, the quarterback that they said was average. So yeah, if they got the BYU quarterback, it's a whole different. I think it's Ratzlaff. If he's starting, then yeah, I think Tulane. Although Northwestern with Stone is the SMU quarterback's very good too. Tulane at home, yeah, they'll probably be the same. They've been an A team for a while, the last 3 or 4 years, so they're a pretty good team. So yeah, with that quarterback, I think they'll be very good then. Okay, thank you, Taiwan. I knew he got kicked off the team, and then BYU is starting a freshman. There was Hank Backenmeyer who sucked, and he went to like 5 different teams, and now it's his brother as the BYU quarterback as a freshman. BYU has a killer defense, and now they have no quarterback. They would have probably been a playoff team with this quarterback. So be careful there. So Indiana, I don't expect them to take a step down. I think they'll be just as strong. When you got a great coach, that's the key to it. So it's a great coach, quarterback. Mendoza was okay, not great, but he was okay. He won't hurt you. They had a great offense, balanced, and a pretty good defense. They held Ohio State. Like I said, they got 2 touchdowns on bullshit. So it was like a 17-15 game. If you take the guy drops a punt and then a punt return because it was a rainy day. But they drove down the field on Ohio State's defense and got 2 touchdowns. So they played them heads up. So Indiana, I like. The question is Old D. an OD, a B team, or no, an over team. I can't read my writing. Looks like a B, but 28 defense. Indiana will take that apart. Quarterback's back, who is okay, nothing special. Coach is there. Indy, the new quarterback. So Indy, yeah, 23 and a half, kind of a big number, but we'll see. They should. Once it's week 3 or 4, I would definitely take Indy to cover the 23 and a half. So we'll see. Bucknell in the Air Force. There you go. Go Air Force. Marshall, Georgia 39 and a half, 55. I don't even have to look. Georgia, the Stocker is the new quarterback. Their defense is loaded. Great coach. Marshall, the whole team's gone. New coach, new quarterback, new team, 47 players gone. The problem is Georgia's not a 40-point favorite. They don't score like Alabama's quick play or USC's quick score. You don't have that with Georgia. They're run it down your throat, hit Brock Bowers. We're going to play this tough defense. Marshall will not score in this game. The question is, how much does Georgia do? Total of 55 and a half. How bad is Marshall? I mean, are they just going to hand it off and run for touchdowns, or is Marshall going to play competitive? This we don't know. You lose 47 players. It's really hard to say. I don't know that Georgia's going to hand the ball up the middle and score a touchdown every time they touch it. But Georgia will, third quarter, they just hand it off, and they get first down after first down after first down. Marshall will get shut out if you can bet that. I would bet it. I don't see how they're going to score. Their quarterback is a new one and a first-time coach. Even to add insult to injury. The guy's never coached before. Well, you get to open with Georgia. How about that? So I don't know. Maybe you go under because it's Georgia. I don't know enough of Stocker, and he's highly recruited, of course, but the other kid went to Kentucky who he beat out. The other Carson Beck went to Miami. I was surprised by that, but I guess I don't know how good Beck is because he hurt his shoulder or elbow in the playoff game. So I don't know. But Georgia, they will be pissed. They didn't win the title. They'll be pissed off. This one, though, the problem is they get up, okay, it's 35-0. Let's just cruise in. And that's, do you cover 40 points and that? So we will see. But Georgia will be very good. No question. Nevada, Penn State, another 45-point favorite. Penn State, 44.5. Oh, the Sharps are actually betting Nevada, 44.5. Total 56.5 from 57.5. Penn State, obviously, Eller's back. The running backs are back. The coach is back. Nevada's got a new quarterback, and the coach is back. Nevada last year was an E team with the 28 defense, and Penn State obviously an A with a 16 defense. So we kind of look at that. I don't know if Penn State's going to kill them. This isn't Marshall. Nevada's not that bad. But again, we know when they play the Big Ten, Ohio State, Alabama, they get killed, these teams. Although Nevada's not a Sun Belt team. They're a Mountain West team. So my instinct is this is a little high because it's like baseball, right? What do? We bet on Scanes and he only pitches 6 innings. And then the bullpen comes in to fuck it up. Well, this is what we're going to have here. We're going to have starters play the first half and get a 31-0 lead. And then they go. And here comes the second string. And what are they going to do? And then we get the third string in the fourth quarter. Are they going to be able to score? Ellard's not going to play the whole game. The running backs are not going to play the whole game. And so that's the problem. They can get up 38-0 and win 41-7. And you get fucked because you're laying 44.5. That's the problem with the 44. Not that the one team's better than the other. it's, oh my God, we don't want to get anybody injured. It sounds just like baseball, right? So that's the problem where you get that. Now, a total of 56.5, that could be doable. I don't know. Well, Penn State shut them out. Again, I think this goes over, but I don't know. I don't know what Nevada's going to give you. Temple at UMass. This is my surprise team. Southern Miss and Temple. Temple is 2.5, 47.5. UMass started as a 1.5 favorite, then Temple was favored, then UMass was favored, and now Temple's favored. UMass is a Z team with 35 defense. Temple is a Z team with the 35 defense. Temple's quarterback's back, but they get the Sam Houston coach. So this is what's really where the coach leaves. And then UMass has the new quarterback and a new coach. Temple will not be a Z team because with the Sam Houston coach, the question is how fast does it do? Can Temple win on the road? Either play UMass,